All right, welcome to the Animal House. So we do our videos on Rumble and we post them to Twitter or X, excuse me. And so this is going to be a short one and it kind of backs up my previous video that I did. And I was thinking about putting it in that video, but I wanted to do a separate one because it's going to be quite a bit shorter. So I don't do things that I think are going to end up being this short very often. So my previous video was about John Marco Allegro and his book, The Sacred Mushroom and the Cross, who he is, his book, what it's about, and then just kind of what would have happened if we would have followed his theology or ideology and what he thought instead of how it ended up, which we already know. So if you want to know more, watch that video. But this is basically going to be what, just like a short story on, if he was right and we listened to what he was saying instead of, shaming him, shunning him out of the scientific and archaeological community and treating him, like a leper. But he still wrote quite a few books and he's still a very intelligent guy. And you definitely cannot question his talents, his capabilities, and his, addition and influence on the Dead Sea Scrolls. So in the groovy era of the 1960s, an unassuming scholar named John Marco Allegro emerged from the academic shadows, clutching a revolutionary theory that would reshape the narrative of human history. In his controversial masterpiece, The Sacred Mushroom and the Cross, Allegro posited that Christianity had its roots in a psychedelic cult centered around the ritualistic use of hallucinogenic mushrooms. To the surprise of many, the academic community embraced Allegro's theory, catapulting it into the mainstream. The Vatican, recognizing the potential paradigm shift, cautiously acknowledged the revelations of the quote-unquote fungi gospel. Churches around the world adapted their rituals, incorporating psychedelic mushrooms into the sacraments, and mass attendance skyrocketed as people sought spiritual enlightenment through mind-altering fungi. The mushroom movement had a profound effect on society. Imagine a world where every Sunday, instead of wine, congregations shared a communal trip guided by a psychedelic experience rather than the standard dogma. Theologians debated the spiritual significance of different mushroom strains, and the psychedelic rituals became central to religious practice. The rise of the mushroom movement brought about an unprecedented era of peace and understanding. Wars were replaced by psychedelic diplomacy, influence of psilocybin to resolve conflicts. The United Nations established a psychedelic security council where the representatives ingested magic mushrooms before engaging in intense negotiations, fostering a global atmosphere of unity and cooperation. Art and culture flourished. Altered reality, psychedelic rock bands like the Grateful Apostles and the Doors of Perception dominated the airwaves. Instead of stained glass, churches showcased kaleidoscope murals inspired by divine mushroom visions. Renaissance paintings were reimagined with psychedelic twists, depicting saints and angels dancing in psychedelic realms. The mushroom movement gained momentum in the medical field, embraced psychedelic therapies, mental health treatments involved carefully guided mushroom sessions, and the pharmaceutical industry shifted its focus from traditional medicines to psychedelic alternatives. Humanity found solace in the healing of profound insights gained through altered states of consciousness. The environmental movement gained unprecedented support as people connected with nature on the spiritual level. During their mushroom-induced experiences, the world witnessed a swift transition into sustainable practices, and psychedelic eco-communities emerged where individuals lived in harmony with nature, guided by the wisdom of the sacred fungi. Despite the initial skepticism, the mushroom movement proved to be remarkably resilient. In the 21st century is now a psychedelic utopia where individuals explore the boundless depths of their mind, guided by the teachings of the fungi gospel. Governments, economies, social structures have all adapted to the altered states of consciousness that permeates every facet of the life. In the alternate reality, John Marco Allegro's Sacred Mushroom and the Cross became not just a thought-provoking theory, but a guiding light for a society that chose to embrace the profound wisdom hidden within the humble mushroom. and so on, the kaleidoscopic tapestry of an alternate history. Humanity continues its journey, one psychedelic trip at a time. That's the end of it, guys. That was just kind of my short story on how things would be different now if the sacred mushroom and the cross was taken more seriously, if his opinions were taken more seriously. I think John Marco Allegro, was far beyond his times and being, open-minded and trying to look at theology from just a different angle. Right, wrong, or otherwise, I thought it was interesting. This was just kind of a quick thoughts process or a thought experiment on an alternate history. Have a good one. Thanks for listening. See you on the next Animal House. Like and subscribe. Share with your friends.